Hello and welcome back to Study Sessions. My name is Mr. Boff, and in today's episode, we turn to Stave 4 of Charles Dickens's A Christmas Carol. Okay, the last of the three spirits. Now, this summary episode is designed to support our Year 9 students, moving into Year 10, of course, who are reading the novella independently, and it's designed to help you unpack what is perhaps the most haunting and transformative part of Scrooge's journey, Stave 4. Now, this stave introduces the most chilling spiritual visitor yet, the ghost of Christmas yet to come. Unlike the previous spirits, this one is completely silent. It appears as a dark, hooded figure. Its face is hidden, its hand pointing ominously forward. Dickens describes it as shrouded in a deep black garment, clearly evoking the image of the Grim Reaper, Death himself. The tone of the stave is bleak and it's full of foreboding. There's no warmth here, only cold, hard consequences. Now, Scrooge is desperate to change, and he tells the spirit at the beginning of this stave that he fears it the most, but, crucially, he's ready to learn and listen. What follows is a series of unsettling visions. First, Scrooge sees businessmen discussing someone's death. They speak casually and indifferently, mocking the dead man and wondering what's going to happen to his money. Nobody, and this is crucial, nobody expresses grief or concern. Next, Scrooge is shown a group of people in a rag and bone shop selling the dead man's belongings, including bed curtains, fine clothes, even the very shirt meant for burial. These scenes from Dickens here are intentionally sordid, and Scrooge is appalled by the coldness and the greed of it all. I mean, quite the transformation on his part there, bearing in mind his own coldness and greed. But what's most disturbing, of course, is that no one mourns this man. He's died alone, unloved, unmourned. Scrooge, at this stage, pleads with the spirit to reveal who this man is. But the ghost says nothing. Then comes a contrasting scene. The Cratchit household. Remember, we saw the Cratchits at Christmas with the previous ghost, the ghost of Christmas Present. Now, the scene of the Cratchit household is silent and subdued. We learn, crucially, that Tiny Tim has died. The once lively house is now full of quiet grief. Bob Cratchit returns from visiting Tiny Tim's grave and speaks with heartbreaking and highly emotive, poignant tenderness. Here, Dickens offers a devastating reminder to readers of what may come to pass if change does not occur. Finally, the spirit leads Scrooge to a graveyard. And there, Scrooge sees the headstone of the dead man, and he's horrified to read his own name. He is the man who died alone. All the dismissive, misanthropic conversations, all of the laughter, the stolen possessions, they were actually about him. His future, Scrooge's future, is bleak, and it's a direct result, a direct consequence of the life he's chosen to lead. Desperate, Scrooge begs the ghost to assure him that this future is not fixed. He says, "Are these the shadows of the things that will be, or are they shadows of things that may be only?" Notice how pleading and desperate that question is. Scrooge vows to change, to honour Christmas in his heart, and to live differently from that day forward. He clutches the spirit's robe and cries out for mercy. And just as suddenly as it began, the scene dissolves. Scrooge awakens in his own bed, realizing that it is now Christmas morning. In many ways, Stave 4 is actually the climax of A Christmas Carol. It shows Scrooge not only what might happen if he fails to change, but in a sense also what kind of man he has become. Dickens uses this stave to warn readers that a life without compassion, a life devoid of social responsibility, where you completely and utterly reject your moral and indeed Christian obligation to other human beings. If you lead a life like that, it leads to isolation and regret. And so, in our next and final and rather more cheerful episode, we're going to explore the last of the 5 staves, where we see whether Scrooge keeps his promise, the promise we just heard about, to honour Christmas in his heart, and we're going to see what redemption really looks like. So, until then, make sure you've listened to all of the other episodes. Make sure you're working through the text on your own. Make sure you're thinking deeply about not just the plot and the characters, as important as all of that is, but thinking about the key messages and the key ideas. And there are some supplementary podcast episodes. If you look back or you are listening to this via YouTube, you can see in the playlist, I'm not just doing summary episodes. There are also episodes on key messages, key characters, and key themes. So make sure that you listen to those ones as well. And as always, okay, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you all back in September.